into my senior year. Because, like I said, where I'm from, there's not a lot of Division I athletes coming out there, not a lot of positive light shined on there. So when I got the call from Coach Stoops, that was my first Power 5 offer, and it was almost like a sense of that everything you worked for and everything you dreamed about, is coming true. And for that, for me, it was unreal, and I'm very thankful for it.
I know you want to focus on football, but the idea of being a pro wrestler, you seem to have kind of that knack. Is that something you would pursue post-football?
I don't know. That's something that would have to be a decision for later on down the road. But if the opportunity presented itself, and everything kind of rolled into place, it'd be kind of hard to say no to Vince McMahon. Any of those guys.
You already kind of have the name for it too. I mean, we don't need to change anything.
Yeah, they might have to. I don't know. We'll see how it rolls.
Kash, when you look at last November, you had that huge stage against Georgia. And then that game, the Tennessee game, I mean, you wound up recovering and winning the 10 games, beating Penn State. How do you think you handled that kind of moment in November with Georgia and the Tennessee that followed?
I mean, obviously, the Georgia game, was the biggest game, in a long time at least. And then, I don't know, I think it was a thing to where, man, I didn't realize you stumped me on that one. But, it was a pretty hard loss, going into it because, we worked, like I said, going back to our preparation, we prepared, the same way we would for any other team. And, obviously, Coach Smart, and his team did a great job of preparation, as well. And, they came out and, I got that win. And then went to Tennessee and the wheels kind of fell apart there. And, it's just one of the things we have to just go back in the locker room and just say, hey, it sucks. It's pretty bad. But, at the end of the day, you still got to come to work on Monday and get focused for the next week.
Do you feel like you kind of represent, your coach on the field? I mean, his personality is this Youngstown, chip on the shoulder type guy. Do you feel like you kind of embody that whenever you're out there?
I mean, I'm just out there being me, and I play for Coach Stoops. He's a big motivating factor of who I play for and why I play. Because he believed in me when nobody else did, and he gave me an opportunity, to come here and play for my state. So, I mean, actively out there thinking about it, no, but I'd say somewhere in the deep back of my consciousness, yeah, I'd say it's probably got something to do with it.
Did you ever consider the NFL?
Yeah, I've considered the NFL.
What was the decision process like this year?
I thought you were talking about that as a career choice.
Oh, no.
I was like, yeah, you stand right up and consider it. I wouldn't want to do this, but no, it wasn't a thing for me. I wouldn't. I don't think I had a good enough season, last year to be able to go and make a career in the NFL right now. I think I'm nowhere near. This is my first year last year being able to start and. Just to be able to hone what college football is in the SEC. So I think the NFL will be too big of a step last year. But, now I'm a year older, a year mature. I know how to watch film, what to look for. I mean, I did know that last year, but just even more so now, just to fine-tune details of things. How to watch film correctly, what to look for, how to practice hard each and every day. Not hard, but how to practice efficiently and what to look for in practice that you can't really see on film. So for me to come back for the senior year and for this group of guys, it's special, and I can't wait.
What was the film session like after the Georgia game in terms of the way Swift ran through you guys? Was it a lot of credit to him, or did you guys do some things that kind of,
I mean, obviously you can't knock DeAndre Swift for anything that he does on that football field. I mean, the guy's he's an unbelievable runner. He's a very strong runner, and he's a very resilient runner. He can make you miss. He can try to run over you. He's basically got all the tools an SEC running back needs. So after that Georgia loss, we went back and said, here's what we need to do. Here's how we fix it. And just move on. Put it past us. We always have a Monday meeting of coming in for corrections, even if we win or lose. And so obviously there was a lot more corrections on that tape than would be on a winning tape. But yeah, we took a lot from that loss, and obviously didn't put it in play the next week when we lost to Tennessee. But you got to give that credit to DeAndre and how he runs and everything like that. And we just got to be better in our program and our scheme and our X's and O's trying to stop him.
In the past, put it in the past about you and the inside linebacker, you all both playing with bulbs on the end.
Mm-hmm. Me and Jordan.
And I know you all don't want to make an excuse for that last year because you all went out and played. And best of the Dolphins. But talk about how did that actually affect you some?
I mean, obviously, it affects you to a certain point because you do only have one hand out there trying to wrap up and tackle players like DeAndre Swift with one hand. You know, it's going to be really, really hard. You know what it was compared to two hands. Still pretty hard with two hands, but with one hand, it's almost impossible. But you know, it's something that you have to adjust with. It's just like when something happens on the field. Maybe they come out and throw some stuff that we haven't seen before. Well, you got to make an adjustment on the fly and learn how to adjust and overcome. So I had to learn how to adjust on the fly and overcome with this hand injury of how to take on blocks a different way, how to tackle a different way, things like that. And I just adapted with it.
Can you describe your tag team with Logan if y'all were both wrestlers?
It'd be like the Brothers of Destruction. I mean, we just run through everybody. It wouldn't even be fun to watch. It'd just be like, oh, well, these guys are gonna win.
He described his favorite finisher was the FU. Which one's yours?
Stone Cold Stunner.
So you like seeing the Kash 316 sign down there?
Yeah, that thing's funny. That's pretty cool.
They're talking about releasing the NCAA. If you're on that game, what would be your rating?
Depends on who you ask. If you ask me, I don't know. I couldn't tell you. I don't like to grade myself because I'm always going to demean myself. I'm going to say I'm like a D or a C just to motivate me.
Well, who has the best shoe game on your team?
Shoe game? I don't know, man. I'm not a big shoe guy. I wear my flip flops that the TK, our equipment manager, gives us each and every day. But I say Lynn's pretty fashion. Lynn's got some fashion about him. So my teammates see this. I'm sorry. I don't know if it was drip game.
Last year, you had probably the best gift of the college football season after Florida with the double water bottles.
Yeah.
What game this year winning that? Like, what sort of win would prompt a reaction like that?
I don't know. That's a celebration. That's for unless you're Stone Cold Steve Austin. If you're Stone Cold Steve Austin, do that whenever you want, however you want. You want to do it. That's your move. But for me, that's only like a milestone type thing move. And maybe winning the SEC East, would do that, or winning the SEC championship would do that. But yeah, just to win in weeks 1 through 12 anymore.
Do you think if you won the SEC championship, you'd come here and people would pick you to win more than
It depends on who we lose that year, I guess.
Kash, you like to talk some smack. What goes into the preparation for that?
Doing research on dudes. Yeah, you think I'm kidding? I do research on dudes.
What's the best maybe little piece of information that you found? It doesn't have to be PG.
If I can find out a girlfriend's name, if I can find out names, if I can just find out names, that's what I do.
Do you get strange reaction?
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
all the time. You know that.
Did you tell him Facebook, bro?
Oh, exactly. All you gotta do is, I'm telling you, man, Google's a scary machine.
Talk about being, a two-sport athlete and what that's like as you've joined the bass fishing team too.
Yeah, I only got to fish one tournament this year though, and I blanked. I used to give Ben Cleveland a hard time from Georgia because I think somebody told me, it may not be true, but somebody told me that Jake went down there and blanked to Kentucky Lake one time. And I was like, how do you go to Kentucky? Because I've never done it. I always go to Kentucky Lake and kill him. I just kept on that text, man. I was like, you tell him, like, how do you go down to Kentucky Lake and blank? He was giving me a hard time about it. And I'll be daggone if I don't go down and march and blank, don't catch a single fish. I can end up catching dead last and everything like that. But it's fun, man. It's just something that I get to do is fun and still have fun with it, but at the same time competing with it because you just don't want to donate your entry fee to somebody. Here you go, take my $200. Here you go, you can have it.
Can you make a similar improvement in competitive bass fishing that you did after your first 2 years at Kentucky?
Absolutely. My decision making could be a lot better. I could decide not to run an hour over to Lake Barkley anymore when I should stay over in Kentucky and fish. I was literally the only boat over there on that side of the lake. Everybody, I guess they knew something that I didn't. So, but it's really fun. I got to meet a lot of new guys. The guys outside of football, that you get to meet and make new contacts with. Because not everybody on the football team likes to fish. So you got to have somebody to go fish with every once in a while.
Kash, you said Coach Stoops kind of believes in you and doing this thing. Josh was that way, Benny was that way. How many guys on the team you think are like that?
there's a lot of guys like that, and I think you're going to see a lot of guys like that this year that get an opportunity and going to be able to tell the same story that I'm telling right now. Is that at first they weren't given a lot of they weren't given really a shot to succeed, and now that Coach Stoops believed in them and gave them the opportunity, they made the best of it. And now they get to sit there and talk about their own story. So we got a lot of guys like that, and I think it's just because of the fact that guys see a vision at this program. They see guys that are not big name guys come out of high school like Josh Allen or Benny or anybody like that, and can still come to college and make a name for themselves where they can go play professional ball and make money for it, not having to worry about what kind of star they were, 4-star, 3-star coming out. The only thing they're worried about is how many zeros they got in their bank account when they got drafted. So at the end of the day, that's all that really matters. Josh is a 2-star, and now he's got over $2 million. So I'll take that $2 million over a 2-star any day.
The chip on the shoulder you guys have, is it that as much as what Kentucky's being picked as? Because
it's just what we're being perceived as, is that we're just a team, a program. Like Coach Stoops has put together a couple teams that have been successful here and there. Well, that's not our vision. That's not what this foundation's been about. That's not what Coach Stoops has been about. That's not what he'll ever be about. He's always been about building a program to where we can reload instead of having to rebuild, and I think we've done that over the course of the past couple of years, from going from 2 consecutive bowl games to now reaching a New Year's Day bowl game and beating a powerhouse like Penn State, and seeing the recruiting classes that keep coming in year after year and the commits that we keep coming in year after year. I can't talk about recruits right now.
Kash, as a Kentucky native, can you talk a little bit about how you work up there?
Yeah, and it's whenever you're a kid growing up, man, whenever you go to wherever you go to get. When I was a kid growing up, especially in the early 2000s, man, wherever you went, there was always a 22 jersey. I still have mine. It's obviously will not fit, but Jared, like you saying, that Coach Stoops says I'm Kentucky. No, Jared was Kentucky before I even had a guess of what Kentucky was. Jared, defined that, and what he did for this program and what he did for these fans, I don't think will ever be matched again. I think that's just something that only comes around once in a lifetime, and I feel so bad, for his family and their loss, because I've talked to him a bunch of times, and just that big smile, he always had, and that personality he always had, and the love and the compassion that he had for Kentucky football was just unmatched, and his heart was just as big as a smile, man, and he's going to be missed a lot. So Jared meant the world to this program, and he'll always mean the world to this program.
You've talked a lot about Coach Stoops building a program. What do you think it would take for another program to pry him away? Or how committed to Kentucky is he? From your just as a player?
I really couldn't answer that. That's something we might have to ask Coach Stoops, but as far as I know, Coach Stoops loves it here. He loves being with us. He loves the University of Kentucky. That gave him an opportunity with his first head coaching job, and I think he kind of feels like maybe a sense of loyalty to that. I'm not sure, like maybe how Coach Cal did when signing the whatever contract he just did. But I'm very thankful, that Coach Stoops is my head coach, and I can tell you I wouldn't not want to be playing for anybody else right now.
Cash, it almost feels weird that you got to wear a suit to this thing. You said you're like a flip-flops guy. If you could wear what you wanted to wear to media days, what would you be rocking?
Man, I'm just because I don't like to dress up doesn't mean I like every once in a while. Man, I do like suits now. Suits are my unknown hobby. I like a good suit, but I'd probably wear this. But now after, I'm directly changed into a cutoff, flip-flops and shorts. You're heading like Gunners go fish a little bit.
I was thinking like a suit with the sleeves cut off or something like that.
No, I sound like Odell would do.
Yeah.
How long do you think you'll be able to rock the locks?
I don't know, man. I just started my biotin pills again the other day to see if my hair grows. And I got my mane and tail, so we'll see if the hair can't get it out of the helmet by week 4 or something.
Like Clay Matthews length? What are you thinking?
I was thinking just down to the shoulder. Not like Clay Matthews. My buddy Tim Boyle, who's backup quarterback for the Packers, he sends me as I was texting him all the time, bro, just ask Clay what his hair routine is.
How'd you get to know Tim?
So my cousin
He's a
actually.
friend of mine.
Yeah, really. My
Yeah.
cousin Scott Daniel played at EKU.
Eastern?
Yeah.
Okay.
So I got
Yeah.
to see meet Tim and all those dudes. So.
Yeah, he's a cool guy.
Yeah. So Tim, he was like, because he knows I love Clay Matthews. Just because of his heritage, because of the type of player he is. And he would just send me videos of him just throwing his hair back, like putting oil in it or something. That's what I'm going for. But yeah, that's what I'm going for.
Kash, you seem to be kind of enjoying this. I know you kind of came here, you've heard all the offseason talk about Kentucky and stuff, but you seem to be kind of like enjoying this whole experience. And I don't want to say that you were late coming in, but you might have been like maybe where you're talking a little bit more and kind of just enjoying this whole experience.
Yeah, man, this is fun. I know that I'm never going to be able to do this again. And so I'm going to take every opportunity I get and have fun with it. There's no reason to be up here like a stick in the mud robot or anything answering the same questions.